Hello, I'm Josephine Sellers, and I'd like to welcome you to the Awakening TV channel. Today, it's my great pleasure to interview Uta Rogers. Uta Rogers practices as a vibropath, and I so much wanted to interview her because she was instrumental a couple of years ago in helping to save my husband's life when the medical profession was at a loss, wouldn't hear what was going on, and if it wasn't for Uta, I don't think my husband would be standing at the back of the room as he is today. So thank you once again for saving his life, Uta. And
welcome.
Now I'm here with enthusiasm to let the world know what it is you do that is so amazing and works when all hope's gone as well. And it's about what the medical profession is.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you, Uta, first of all, tell me where you learnt your skills and how long ago and what's been going on.
Well, about 20 years ago, I was very poorly myself, and I was already a practicing beauty therapist. I ran my own salon, and with beauty therapy, beauty tends to be more superficial, and people would come in with a variety of problems. As a therapist, you hear it every day of your life. Oh, this is wrong, that's wrong. I was particularly strangely interested in acne. And acne could appear on people. Some people came with it only on the forehead. Some would come in with it just on the cheek. And I thought, why would a spot choose to be in this place? And people started telling me their symptoms, and it all sort of built up. It was a series of lists of symptoms I was getting to know even then. And that must have been 25 years ago. And so I got into the allergies. Allergies is huge at the moment. It became the practice in the middle 80s, early 90s, and I studied as an allergy therapist. So I did allergy testing using ampules and a machine. And I've started off, people ended up with maybe one allergy, maybe four. As about over 10 years progressed, people started to end up with like 20 allergies. Then it got to 30 allergies, and I thought people were allergic to food. So all these people who think you must eliminate wheat and eliminate oats or dairy or so on, I thought there has to be another reason. And then I was given a book. My own mother was very poorly, and in those days alternative practices were not common. And she spent a fortune driving around trying Chinese and acupuncture, herbalism, didn't get very far, and she died quite young. And I could see the same symptoms happening in me. And having gone to the doctor myself, I asked for some tests, and I was told she could not cure me for something I didn't have.
Okay.
Go away, and if it gets worse, come back to me. And how many times have I heard that I could have that engraved on the wall? I was told to come back, try this pill, come back if it gets worse. In other words, they didn't really know, or it was called a virus or so. And it was the limit of a doctor's knowledge. It's what they're taught.
Yes.
So you can't always blame a doctor because they actually don't know anymore. They're only taught what they're taught at college. Just like I was taught at college. You can only be a good therapist as your knowledge and what to check for. So I actually was given a book, and by my mother. It was the year she actually died. And I started to read it. It was written by Hulda Clark. A lot of people have heard of that. And I then was introduced to a practice over in America where it was a school of Hannah's teaching. And I actually learned over a process of 6 years and added it to my allergy testing. And I looked at chemicals, and I looked at medicines, and I looked at parasites and flukes, and I put this whole test together. Then I thought, well, what do you call this? It's very difficult, so I have to literally pioneer this myself, because then when I came back here to England, I was practicing some dowsing techniques I learned at the radionics school, and that was like limited. So I put all the practices together from the beauty, from the allergy, from Hannah, and from radionics, and put this list together. And it's simply years of testing that I got these lists that I've put myself together to check. Because it wasn't good just to take a remedy, say for wheat. Wheat might have aggravated the colon or whatever. You had to follow it through and help the body. And the various items the body cannot do. And so vibrational medicine came about from actually helping the body to heal. It's all very well just taking a remedy. Yeah. You sometimes have to follow through when the body does struggle.
Can I ask a bit more about who Hannah was?
Yes, Hannah Kroger was a German lady of German descent, and she was a daughter of a missionary. So she travelled. She heard all the old wives' tales, picked up lots and lots of knowledge about herbs. She listened to the Red Indians a lot, because after all, they know an awful lot of knowledge. They've been here before us. Yes. And she picked up all of these old wives' tales, made tons of lists, just like my lists. Yes. And but what really triggered for Hannah was the death of her daughter after a vaccine. And she went back to the doctor and said to the doctor, what side effects do I look for when her daughter got very poorly? And he didn't know. He didn't know what was in the vaccine. He didn't know what to look for. This vaccine had been rushed out because there was a pandemic, they said at the time. And Hannah made it her goal after her daughter died to help others get over it. So it's been done. It's enough, talking about blaming this, blaming that. What do you do about it? That's the key, rather than harping on and after this and compensation for this. And I thought, well, what do you do about it? I was ill. I was poorly. Yes. I've had a lot of treatments or so myself. And I was poorly, very poorly. So I wanted to find a result. And Hannah had come across vibrational medicine, which is magnetic remedies.
Yeah. Okay.
Tuned to the condition.
Yes, I'm going to ask you lots of questions.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and get through them all.
Okay.
Is there a limit to what you can treat? And can you treat animals and humans? I know you treat animals and humans. You're wonderful with the animals.
I love doing animals. Animals are so emotional, and they don't sit there thinking, "Oh, this isn't going to work." They just go for it. They might not like the liquid remedies dropped on their heads or anything like that, but I love doing animals. They're so straightforward. Horses are so easy, and they're usually a reflection of the owner as well, as you might know with your equestrian knowledge. And they just react so quickly, and they love it. They like they actually sense the energy, because animals have that instinct, which we have closed our minds to. It's only nature. Humans do, unless you've got a gift like a psychic may have. And of course, it's that part. It's the instinct that we use to dowse. So animals know immediately it's good for them.
So they're already in that zone, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
I know whenever I've had body therapists to my horses, they just flock to the shed.
Yeah.
They just want to be the first. They sense this person's ability, energetic ability, and they want to
yes.
wonder.
Yes.
So, and is there a limit to what you can treat? Well, I think there is a limit.
There has to be a limit. I mean, there is room for both practices. I mean, if someone had a car crash, or it's the rate at which the disease progresses. I mean, you need time for this. This is the same with all practices. The body can only be pushed so far, and if you get an illness where the sickness starts to take hold and it slips, that is when chemicals and the medical world, of course, help. Yes. I mean, they are marvellous in what they do. I could not do a heart operation. If it's something the body can do on its own, that's the limit. That is the actual limit. Okay. And of course, there are some people, they may not be open to it. If you are a bit negative, because it's an energy, you will need twice as many remedies.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard. People think, is it a faith? And I said, no, it's not a belief. It's a positivity.
Yes, and then we could move off of that into the psychological implications of illness, because the psychological implications of the illness also come in with the person to get well. And I know in my husband's particular case, I think it's quite likely that another person wouldn't have survived, but his belief that he was going to get well had a huge part of it.
Absolutely. He
Would
had,
you agree? Would you agree?
He listened very well to that was first thing I noticed with him, that he listened to what was going on. He could understand on the first meeting. He thought, yes, I did suffer that. This is true. This is so and so, and he was just determined to be well as well. And seeing the results quite quickly, of course, spurs people on as well. You know, that gives that positivity, because positivity makes cells move quicker. Therefore, a virus would die quicker. So if you're negative and you think slowly, oh, I don't know, you know, I do get clients looking like that. What's she doing? A bit cuckoo here, you know, spinning a little dowser over a page. And if they're thinking like that, I'm not sure.
You slow the process up.
It is. It's literally like cold and warm. If you stand near the cooker, you can move. You know, you can move better. If you're freezing,
it's so hard for people in this day and age, though. I mean, to me, this is the ancient way.
Actually, yes,
it's ancient, and the energetics going into your milieux are drawn from the natural world.
Well, yes. After all, this was scientifically discovered.
Yes.
And it was over 100 years ago.
Okay.
And it was a study of nature. They actually looked how atoms moved.
Yeah.
They noticed that a dandelion would move differently to a daffodil. They actually took a measure of the energy, but the energy, people can't picture energies. It's something you feel. It's like when you're going to get a cold, you feel a bit, so your energy falls.
Drop, yes.
Then you get the symptoms. And energy, I think of it as petrol for the body, fuel for the body. And of course, we are all part of the Earth's energy, and you've got nature, you have the animals, they are there to support us. They're the mirror image of us, which is another reason why, say, an animal heart couldn't go very well into a human. Absolutely. Because they are opposite energy, they're mirrored. We eat animals to survive, if we do, or we eat vegetables to survive. We get energy from it, so it's converted. It's a different kind of way of thinking.
It's pure energy medicine.
Yes,
pure energy.
it is. It's harmless.
Treat it. It is harmless. I know that.
Totally.
So
if I gave someone, no, absolutely,
can't hurt you.
The lady sat. She said, "You concentrate. Make sure you get the right numbers in." She said, and I said, "Well, no. If your body doesn't take that particular frequency, it just ignores it. You know, it's an energy. It's not a drug. That you don't have to wait time for a chemical reaction to happen in the body. It's immediate."
Well, I know.